Hello students, today we'll see the next topic in the amphetamines. In the previous lecture we have seen about different types of analytical tools for the analysis of amphetamines such as thin layer chromatography, then we have HPLC or gas chromatography with mass spectrometry by which we can identify that. Today we will discuss about the next topic, that is the quantification of the amphetamines, comparison and profiling of amphetamine samples, in Lukart synthesis of amphetamine, then reductive amination of benzyl methyl ketone, and last one is the impurity extraction and the sample comparison. So let us see one by one. So, due to the nature of the compounds being considered and the need for the derivatization, GCMS is not considered the best technique for the sample quantification. While the capillary electrophoretic methods have been employed and do find some applications in this kind of work. So the method of choice is currently high performance liquid chromatography. So the exact method to be employed will depend upon the amphetamine, which amphetamine is to be analyzed. But the method described below can be applied to the amphetamine, methamphetamine, and other derivatives of amphetamine such as MDA, MDMA without any kind of difficulties. So the amphetamines standards and the sample should be dissolved in the methanolic HCl, that is 100 ml of the methanol, in which about 175 microliter of the concentrated HCl is added. We have to dissolve this particular sample and standard. Then a range of standard solutions should be prepared in order to give a range of concentrations above and below that which the street sample is thought to be contained. So remembering that the latter may be only contain between 0 to 5 weight percent amphetamine. So if necessary, the materials, particularly the case samples, should be sonicated, and following this, centrifuged to remove any kind of solid materials. So the supernatant is retained for the subsequent analysis. So look at what happened here. How we have to use the chromatographic conditions for the particular HPLC. So this is the particular parameters, that is what is the column. So the column, which is of obviously the silica, having the dimensions of 12.5 centimeter into 4.6 ID, that means 125 mm length, 4.6 mm ID, and having particle size of 5 micron. Then if you consider the mobile phase, so it consists of methanol, ammonia, and hydrochloric acid in the ratio of 2000 as to 18.4 as to 0.4. And then next one is the flow rate. So the flow rate, it is about 1 ml per minute. Then injection volume, it is about 5 to 10 microliter. And the detection or detector, here we have UV at 254 nanometer with diode detector is used for the analysis. Let us see the another table where the retention time and lambda max data for the commonest amphetamine derivatives plus caffeine are given. So the table will show the, if you consider caffeine having lambda max 273 and retention time is getting about 1.19, then amphetamine having lambda max 259 and retention time is 1.68. Another derivative of amphetamine MDA having lambda max 235 and 287, having RT retention time 1.69. Methamphetamine having lambda max 260 and the retention time it is about 2.67. MDMA having lambda max 35 and 287, having retention time is 2.76. While it is not possible to fully resolve the pairs, pairs means what? If you can consider the particular retention time, it is almost same. You can call it as a pair. So the amphetamine and MDA and methylamphetamine and MDMA are nothing but the pairs, amphetamine and MDA, because there is a very less difference in the retention time. So, on the basis of the retention times, discrimination between these compounds can be achieved by using diode array detector. So, what happens with the diode array detector? It can take the wavelength of the respective component. Okay, so there is no need to set one kind of wavelength. It is applicable for the wide range of wavelength, and that's why this is one of the application of diode array detector that we have employed the wavelength, or we have no need to set any kind of wavelength. It will take that wavelength directly. So this is about the diode array detector, advantage of diode array detector. Then, having collected the data, a calibration curve should be plotted. Since the amphetamine is frequently synthesized in dirty apparatus, in the clandestine laboratories, it may not be possible to determine which salt form of a drug is present. So the standard is generally supplied as a sulfate form. Means what we have to consider sulfate, amphetamine sulfates are there. Here we have say that general formula, that is a diamphetamine sulfate is there. This means that for every gram of the amphetamine sulfate, about 73% will be present as the amphetamine free base, and remaining will be the salt. Okay, so the calibration curve should be plotted as UV detector response against concentration of the amphetamine as a. So the some data for examples is given in the table 2 and figure 1. So the result should be checked to ensure that the calibration data to rely on the straight line. So this is the particular calibration curve in which we have such kind of concentrations are taken, and hence we have get such kind of detector response. Okay, and hence we can get a such kind of calibration curve for the determination of amphetamine by HPS. Then any spurious data points should be discarded and the remainder used to formulate the calibration equation. And the method of least squares is one technique which can be used where the following simultaneous equations are used, that is summation of y equals to nc plus m into summation of x, and summation of xy is equals to c into summation of x plus m into summation of x squared. Whenever while solving this, we have get a data. So alternatively, a computer spreadsheet can be used for such kind of data generation. So this data yield a regression equation of y is equal to 0.0304 x plus 0.0004, where x is the concentration of amphetamine as a free base and y is the detector response, shown in the figure 1 and table 3. So by using this, if you consider carefully the particular equation, it is nothing but the y is equals to mx plus c. So this is the particular calibration data for the determination of amphetamine. Here we have get the data for the calibration for the HPLC of amphetamine. So amphetamine sulfate, as far as concerned, having concentration 0.013, and at the same time previous considering, that is about 70% of the total concentration, it is belongs to the free base, so it is turn out to be 0.028. So similar manner we have get a different kinds of amphetamine free base concentration and detector response with respect to the concentration of the sample. Then this is the figure 2, which shows that diode array UV spectra of first. This is for amphetamine, this is for methylamphetamine, this is for MDA, and last one is it is the MDM. Okay, so these are the some diagram which shows that some figures will shows that for the first case, that is amphetamine, having lambda max equals to 259 nanometers. While in case of methylamphetamine, the lambda max it is a 260 nanometer. While in case of C, that is MDA, the lambda max it is a 235. And in case of last MDMA, it is having the same lambda max corresponding to the MDMA sample. Then the equation generated can be used as a follow. If street samples prepared at 2.5 mg of the sample per ml gives the reading of 0.0314 absorption unit, then the concentration of free base is 0.102, so which is obtained by the putting the values into the equation. So however, the correction is required to account for the original concentration of the sample, and so actual concentration expressed as percentage then becomes 0.102 divided by 2.5 into 100, so it is around 4.08%. So the amphetamines, 4.08% of the amphetamines are present in the given sample. Next one is the comparison and profiling of the amphetamine samples. So great deal is known about the numerous synthetic routes available for the manufacture of the amphetamine. These substances are produced in a batch-wise processes with each batch containing a different impurity profile comprising different amounts of decomposition products, reaction byproducts, and unchanged starting material. As a consequence, the different impurity profiles can be used as signatures, which can be used to establish a link between the samples and other beds. So even when the same route is used twice, different impurity profiles are present in the sample. This allows several types of investigation to proceed. Then next one is the small street samples may be related to each other as may larger batches in the transit. In addition, chemists in different countries prefer the different routes for the synthesis. Then the next one, uh, thus with the right intelligence, pattern for different synthesis in different countries can be established and the country of origin is identified. The three principal routes for the synthesis are the Leucard synthesis, the reductive amination of benzyl methyl ketone, and the nitrostyrene route are employed for the synthesis. So it is not the intention here to provide the recipes or procedures for the synthesis. So they may readily obtain from the referred scientific literature and on the internet, although brief outlines are given below. So here, what is intended is to illustrate different types of impurities which can be provide the signatures when different routes will be employed. So, to discuss the extraction and analysis of the impurities and the interpretation of the data following such analysis. So the first one is the Leucard synthesis of amphetamine. So in this reaction, benzene methyl ketone is reacted with the formamide, followed by the reaction of products with the hydrogen peroxide and HCl in methanol to form a amphetamine. So there are a number of variations on the basic routes. Okay, so the impurities which arises include such as methyl phenyl pyrimidines, that is the 4-methyl 5-phenyl pyrimidines, that is the compound 8. Then benzyl pyrimidines, that is the 4-benzyl pyrimidine, compound 9. Then N-formyl amphetamine, compound 10. Then NN-di beta phenyl isopropylamines, that is the compound 11. And the dimethyl diphenyl pyrimidines, that is the 2,4-dimethyl 3,5-diphenyl pyridine, compound 12, are some impurities which are formed whenever the synthesis route is a Lookout way. So these impurities leads to the complex profile, but ones which are extremely characteristics of the synthetic route being used and frequently of the chemist who has been manufacturing the drug. So this is the particular structure 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, which are some examples of the impurities found in the amphetamine whenever we are going through the Lookout synthesis. That is, this is the pyrimidine derivative. This is another pyrimidine derivatives. This is the amphetamine derivatives. That is the formyl derivative. This is NN di phenyl derivatives. Then this is one of the pyridine derivatives. So these are the some impurities formed when we go through the Lookout synthesis of amphetamine. Then the reductive amination of benzene methyl ketone. So there are a number of variations on this route depending upon how the reduction is catalyzed. So the general principle is that the ketone is reacted with ammonia to form the imine, which is then reduced under a high pressure, a high temperature and a pressure to form a amine. So the some examples of the impurity by using this kind of route, that is the N-beta phenyl isopropyl benzyl methyl ketimine. So this is one of the impurity formed. Then second one is the N-acetyl amphetamine. So this is the 14 number, and plus more complex reaction byproducts such as a 1-oxo 1-phenyl 2 beta phenyl isopropylimino-propane, that is the 15. So these are the some impurities which are formed whenever we have go through the synthesis of amphetamine via reductive amination of benzyl methyl ketone. Then the next one is the impurity extraction and sample comparison. So each route of the of synthesis will result in the impurity profile, which can be analyzed. So unlike cannabis, heroin, and cocaine, the impurities are present in very low concentration and need to be extracted from the amphetamine matrix. So liquid-liquid extraction and solid phase extraction have been most frequently applied for this purpose. So of this liquid-liquid extraction is currently the most widely used technique for the extraction. Then in addition, there are attempts being made to develop the method so that it can be optimized to allow the data exchange between different laboratories. So in the different laboratory means in different countries. So the method upon which amphetamine profiling is currently based is as follows. So a buffer solution of 30 ml of 0.1 molar NaOH and 50 ml of the 0.1 molar uh, disodium phosphate is prepared and adjusted to pH 7. Then 200 mg of the sample is dissolved in 2 ml of the buffer solution and steam shaken for 30 minutes, after which 200 microliter of the N-hexane are added and the mixture shaken for further 30 minutes. The two phases are allowed to separate. This can be enhanced by using centrifugation. Then a small aliquot, that is about 2 microliter of the sample, can be then analyzed by using either GC, that is gas chromatography with flame ionization detector, or gas chromatography with mass spectrometer detector. Since the analysis of amphetamine is so complex and definitive statement must be made about the route of the synthesis, if profiling is employed, the technique of choice for the analysis it is CCMS. A, a variety of methods have been published, but in general, these all require a slow temperature program on the moderately polar capillary GC column. So the comparison can be then begun, and the simplest way is to do this is to lay the chromatograms over each other. That means we have to overlap the chromatogram on each other and decide whether they are the same or not, and by using we can analyze that. Okay, so alternatively there are a number of algorithms which can be used either specifically or predictively to establish relationship between samples. However, such an approach is currently at the research stage and no definitive method has been yet identified. Then this is the particular uh, chromatogram for the impurity profiling obtained from the amphetamine sample using GCMS. Okay, so the method used will ultimately depend upon the questions being asked and desired outcome of the particular use of the data. Okay, so this is all about the amphetamine. In the next lecture, we will see about the next topic, that is the LSD, lysergic acid diethyl amide. Okay, thank you.